Alright, Silver Wolf first. So, Silver Wolf. I'll be pulling for Silver Wolf, that's for sure. Alright, our lovely girl. She has an amazing, absolutely fantastic character design. A lot better than Kid Bronya in Honkai Impact 3rd. I'm sorry to say, but she's amazing. Now, in terms of her skill though, okay, Quantum, Nihility, 5-star, no specific stat for the time being. Okay, her technique, Force Quit Program, immediately attack the enemies after entering battle, ignore weakness type, and reduce the toughness of all enemies. Target with their weakness broken in this way will become entangled. Basic attack, deal 50%, but her basic attack also allows you to implant a random bug into the enemies that lasts for 3 turns, 65% base. Now, if any of you don't really know what bug is, she has the bug that decreases either 10% of the enemy's attack, reduce 10% defense, or 10% speed. Alright, so which is kind of nice, which is why they say it's a random bug. Her skills deals quantum damage equal to 70% of Silver Wolf attack to single enemies, with a 75% base chance to add a weakness of the same type as a random ally attack type to the enemy that lasts for 3 turns, and reduce the enemy's damage resistance to that attack type by 20%. So this is the most important skill in Silver Wolf because you can now use team and then not worry too much about not having a single weakness break on your team, since Silver Wolf is going to be covering that for you. You can go into battle with Silver Wolf in mind, and then you can just use your most important DPS character and may still be able to clear out the hardest content. But then also we get, you know, the option of talking about more different type of team, which is really nice. Okay, ultimate deals quantum damage equal to 180% of Silver Wolf's attack to a single enemies, with a 100% base chance to cause entanglement, which is pretty nice. Alright, for each debuff on the enemies, deals additional quantum damage to 18% of Silver Wolf attack to an enemy up to 5 times. So like, if you have 5 buck on the enemy, you can actually get up to 5 stack, right? So for each stack, it's 18% of Silver Wolf attack, which is really nice. It's not really a flat 18% attack increase here though. It's going to be based off of her attack, which is still nice, right? Because you get a lot of stacks off of it. So it's a really good burst. Now, we don't know her base attack yet. You know, we do know that she's been nerfed quite a lot. So we don't really know how much of a damage she's going to be able to help out your team. But she should be able to still do decent number of damage to help your team out, right? But either way, it's a good thing because she's a Nihility character, guys, right? Most of the time, Nihility characters don't do, you know, a lot of damage. I know that there's Walt. Like, Nihility characters not always going to be the one to help you out with damage, but Silver Wolf and Walt, you know, those characters help you out with more damage wise, so either way that's good. Most of the time, Erudition and Hunt characters going to be doing the damage, and sometimes you don't have a lot of good support character to deal damage on your team too. So Silver Wolf still decent in terms of damage wise. Alright, so her talent, Silver Wolf can create 3 different types of bugs as we've mentioned before. For every debuff that the enemy's attack by Silver Wolf has, Silver Wolf damage against the enemy increased by 15%. That is very good. So guys, on top of her ult, where she gets already the stack, usually she's also gonna get most of the stack from her, you know, talent as well. So that's really good addition damage on top of that as well. Alright, bonus ability. Silver Wolf skill is a guarantee to implant attack weakness if the enemy currently has 3 or more debuff. That's fine. Inject Silver Wolf base attack has a 55% base chance to implant 1 additional random bug in the enemy. Whenever Silver Wolf is attacked, that's a 50 base chance to implant. So guys, like, Silver Wolf has an insane number of chances for you to implant debuff onto your enemies. Like, a lot. Like, most of the things she does will give you a chance to give debuff to your enemies. The only question here is how many debuffs she is able to give, because the more you're able to do, the more stack you're going to be getting. Bonus ability, alright, Eidolons. This is from closed beta too, so it might change, but I don't think that's going to be the case. E1, buck duration extended for 1 turn. Now, if you guys didn't remember, her buck duration actually is for a flat 3 turn. If you get E1, that's going to be basically a 4 turn of buck debuff duration, which is a really long time. Whenever an enemy weakness is broken, Silver Wolf has a 65 base chance to inflict a random bug on the enemy. So E1, guys, very good. You get a lot out of her E1 because you're constantly getting more buck onto your enemies, especially when the weakness is broken, and you get additional turns. Very nice E1, very worth if you do invest into Silver Wolf. E2, when an enemy enters the battle, reduce the effect hit rate resisted by 30% for 2 turns. That's good too. I mean, considering like I don't think there's going to be too much enemies that has access to very high effect resistance at this point. 30% isn't really too much of a needed, but if you are going for her constellation, it's still very a reliable way of getting debuff onto your enemies, which is really nice. E3, the same as always. E4, when using her ultimate, Silver Wolf regenerate 8 energy for every debuff the target enemy is currently having. This, I feel, is one of the best constellations she can have because, guys, most of the time, she's at least going to have an 8 energy regen. E6, the duration of weakness implant in enemies by Silver Wolf has no turn limit. That's insane. But it's very situational as well. What they're referring to is that the weakness she's implant onto your enemies will have no turn limit. So usually you have a 3 turn, right? You have a 3 turn limit. But since Silver Wolf, you're going to be using her most of the time in a mono team, that doesn't really matter because you're always going to get that specific weakness up no matter what, right? Now, looking in terms of her light cones and relics, nihility. So this is her light cones. Alright, increase the wearer effect hit rate by 24%, which is nice. When the wearer deals damage to an enemy that currently has 3 or more buff, increase crit rate by 12%. After the wearer uses their basic attack, skill, or ultimate, there's a 100% base chance to implant ether code on a random target that does not yet have it. Target with ether code receive 12% increased damage for 1 turn. Overall, a very solid weapon, especially the effect hit rate that it gives. So obviously it is made for our Silver Wolf, which is really nice. Definitely her BIS option. Nihility, other than that, I believe we have a couple of other options. This is the free weapon that we're getting, guys. This is the free weapon that we get. Alright, increase wearer effect hit rate by 20%. Oh wow. When the wearer attacks, defense reduce enemy regenerate. Oh wow, wait guys, this 4-star is actually very good. This at R5 might actually be on the same level or just a little bit less compared to her 5-star options. I can't see the R5, but considering if this is already 20 and you get like basically like 2%, I believe that you should be getting at least 30% effect hit rate at R5. I think they're giving you R5, right? Usually event give you an R5 4-star light cone, so you don't technically need to go for her BIS option because you've already got this, which is really nice. Otherwise, we do have a few other options if you do have it. Guys, like since we've already got this, I'm not really sure why you want any other options on your Silver Wolf because this is just perfect for her. So it's not really that needed to consider any other 4-star light cones, which is really good. Now let's have a look at relics. Most of the time, you're going to be going with quantum damage set, that's for sure. Brilliant star set is a no-brainer for her. So you want to use the 4-piece brilliant star alongside with the pan-galactic commercial enterprise. That gives you a wearer effect hit rate by 10%. Okay, another attack increase by the amount that's equal to 25%, which is really nice. Okay, try to farm this set for your current Silver Wolf, and that's going to be all good. Team-wise, basically, guys, she fits on like all teams, guys. That's the power of Silver Wolf, which is really nice, right? It depends. Like team building is kind of like a big matter here in Honkai Star Rail, not like in Genshin Impact. You don't just get like, you know, since we don't have kind of like resonance elemental reactions. Team-wise, this is more like about you guys building character that fits into the current battle and that synergizes well with each other. But either way, we already know that Silver Wolf is more like a character that's going to be on a mono team. So maybe what we can do is that we can look into some different mono team composition. In terms of Pyro doesn't really have any great team comp for the time being. If you're building Hook, I guess that's fine. In terms of DPS, most of the other characters are like Preservation. Himeko is going to be Erudition. Asta here is going to be like Harmony. So the only character that you're having is kind of like, you know, Hook to do the damage. Pyro doesn't really have good mono team for the time being, so we can, you know, pause on that. Cryo might work because you have Yangqing. If you have Yangqing on the Cryo team, you can go alongside with Yangqing, Pela, Gepard, right? Gepard, and then Silver Wolf. And that team's going to work perfectly well. As long as you have your Gepard shield up almost constantly, that should be good enough. Electro, I'm pretty sure Electro has a very good option. Kafka's gonna be here. Kafka next patch, guys. So in terms of mono Electro team, I think currently you only have Ying Yuan, right, to be the damage dealer. You have Ting Yun, right, to be buffed alongside with Silver Wolf. Those two characters are going to be buffing your team in a huge deal. And then there's Bailu to heal your team. There you go. Decent Electro build team. Anemo, don't really have any because you don't have a healer for Anemo yet. So if you want to use like Anemo, you can use like Danhang, Bronyar, and then another healer, for example, Bailu, and then Silver Wolf, which is not advisable, guys, because again, it's situational. If you get weakness brick, which is, you know, electro, then you're pretty much toast for at least 1 to 2 turns until you get Silver Wolf again to try and get Anemo up. Okay, so Anemo not really viable at this time around. Quantum, you can, but you want to have like either Bailu, or if you have Luocha or Natasha, they will heal because you don't have a quantum healer at this point. Nihility definitely will work because if you have Walt, if you have Yukong, Luocha, and then Silver Wolf, oh my god, that's one of the best team. Holy shit, that team's gonna be insane. That team's gonna be absolutely fantastic. Wise, Walt can do single target and AoE damage. You know, and Yukong here, buffing character, Luocha is gonna be healing, absolutely fantastic if you are able to invest a lot into this new patch. Alright, basically that's team building. Otherwise, if you want to use like mixed team for Silver Wolf, they're practically just gonna work nonetheless because Silver Wolf is there, and then, you know, most of the time you have other character to cover weakness break, so that's still fine. Alright, what does Luocha do? Imaginary and abundance. There you go, we already know his skills, guys. Alright, so 90% of Luocha's attack on single enemy. After using his skills, immediately restore the target ally's HP equal to 50% of Luocha's attack plus 560. When any ally HP percentage becomes equal to or less than 50%, an effect equivalent to Luocha's skill will immediately be triggered by Luocha and applied to this ally for 1 more time. Okay, so kind of like additional healing damage for you guys. Ultimate, remove 1 buff. That's insane, right? That's really good. From all enemies and deals imaginary damage equal to 152% of Luocha's attack to all enemies. Gain 1 stack of Abyss Flower. From his talent, when Abyss Flower reaches 2 stack, Luocha consumes all the stack of Abyss Flower to deploy a field against the enemy. When enemy in the field is attacked by ally, the attacking ally immediately restore HP based on 50% of Luocha's attack. Oh, this is 2 stack. I kind of remember that it was 3 stack last time. Interesting. Okay, 2 stack is actually very good, but this is very easy, so your team is going to be very healthy with Luocha on the team because he heals a lot. It's like he constantly heal while attacking. All right, which is why he's going to be replacing most healer so fast, but defender like Shepard is going to be having their value up for a very long time, so that's nice. After using technique and start, talent will be immediately triggered. Okay, Eidolons, when the field is active, attack of all allies increased by 20%. Holy crap. Oh wow. Okay, this guy, oh my god, guys, he acts as an abundance character while still being a nihility character and being a harmony character at the same time if you got E1. Holy shit, 20% is insane. It's a lot, especially when it goes for all allies. It's not like Ting Yun where you give it to 1 ally. This is all allies. When using his skill, if target allies HP is lower than 50%, outgoing healing increased by 30. Target allies HP is 50% greater than ally receive a shield that can absorb. Okay, so more survivability for your character, which is okay. E1's so powerful though. C4, when field is active, enemy becomes weakened and deal 12% less damage. Makes your team a lot more survival. When using ultimate, there's a 100% chance to reduce all enemies all type resistant by 20%. E6, yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure most of us are not going to be getting E6 anytime soon, but E1, guys, is viable considering you only need 2 stack for his, you know, for his field to be up. So most of the time you're going to be getting this 20% attack bonus. Luocha is going to be very valuable in a very long time. Healing almost already better than most of the healer. I know that Bailu has the ability to actually, you know, revive your character, but Luocha makes your team a lot more easier to survive, so I don't know, that kind of like balance out. In terms of, okay, let's have a look into his relics. Oh, this is okay, cool, there you go. I was looking at nihility earlier, that's why his Lycon didn't show up. Okay, there you go. Oh, 24%. It's actually not 20, guys. After the warrior uses attack for each different enemy target hits, regenerate 3 energies. Alright, perfect timing. Increase the warrior effect resistant by 16% and increase outgoing healing can be increased this way, increased by 15%. Alright, increase warrior max HP by 16. Okay, so he doesn't actually scales off of HP, so it's not really worthwhile. When using basic attack, restore all allies. At the start of the warrior's turn, regenerate 8 energy for a random warrior effects hit rate. Increase warrior outgoing healing for 10%. With using skills, regenerate 2. Oh, this one's good. Alright, shared feeling is good because you get flat outgoing healing, plus you get to regen your character too. And the skills, the more refinement you get, so that's kind of nice. Whereas energy regeneration rate by 8% and increase outgoing healing when they use their ultimate by 12%. So technically, this is also good. Currently Abundance doesn't really have too good 4-star light cones, so you can just rely on like the 4-star light cone that you have. I know that you know it's limited at the start of the game because you don't have a lot of pools yet into your account. So guys, use whatever you have. Either way, Luocha without his weapon still going to be very, very decent. All right, in terms of team building, again, basically any character again would work because he's kind of like a support character for the team, right? Imaginary character, very good because currently we only have Wild. Of course, Yukong's going to be coming along the way. Team building, you know guys, if you get Luocha, fit him into any teams that you like. He's a very good support. Healing, nihility character, if you get his E1, very good. He buffs your team attack as well. Not to mention, he deals damage too. This reminds me of Kokomi in Genshin Impact. People might not be able to realize his ability and his potential at this point. Of course, we can't because we don't get to use him yet. But I feel that he might be Kokomi when he is released. Is that, you know, people down the lines are going to say you must have Luocha here and there. Which most likely is going to be the case because when he comes, he's going to be replacing most of the healer. The only thing that stops him from reaching his full potential is very good shielder. If you have already got Shepard, you can't skip on Luocha because Shepard's skill and shield is still very, very good. But I feel that Luocha is still a bit more, you know, viable and a bit better than Shepard because especially he just takes away buff from your enemies and also attack for your team as well. So two very good, very, very good character coming into this current banner. I know that, you know, if you guys have been pulling for Silver Wolf, you're going to be stuck on your star glitter. So it's going to be a very tough decision when you want to pull for either of this character. But here's the thing that I'm thinking right now, guys. So if you guys want to go for Silver Wolf, it's still good, but Silver Wolf is a character that can be delayed and wait for her rerun until you get more good character when it comes to mono team. Okay, currently Silver Wolf is a character that focuses on giving debuff, so kind of like giving a little bit buff for your team, right? Plus she does damage. But on the other hand, guys, if you are lacking in character like Shepard, a shielder, very good, a healer like Bailu, and you only have Natasha on your account right now, then Luocha is a much better decision to pull for, to help out your team's survivability, to give a bit of damage to your team, to help break shield, and to take away buff from your enemies. Luocha is that's important. He's very viable and very, very good. Okay, he's very good. Not to mention, Yukong is going to be there on his banners as well. So you basically get the potential to get two new good character. I know Yukong is also imaginary, so they might not work on the same team sometime, but later down the road, if you get Silver Wolf, they both can be on the same team and work fantastically well with each other. But I know that Kafka and Blade is going to be there right around the corner too, so that's a very tough decision. But in terms of your team survivability, I believe that Luocha should be able to do the work very, very well. So that's something that I want to say in terms of that.